What is up, fellas? I'm back with a back and biceps workout. Today I'm starting off with hammer curls as usual. Like to get my arms warm, ready to go. I'm going to do a bunch of rows today. I'm going to start off with dumbbell rows. I'm going to use the hundreds to warm up here. Do a single set with those and just really focus on just getting ready to go to the next set. Next set I'm going to jump up to the 120s and use the bench as support. Really like to focus on getting my elbow up and pulling through the roof, almost like you're pulling a lawnmower. I'm going to alternate arms here with each set. I'm going to do probably reps of 10, I think, is what I end up doing on the 120s. But I'll probably be inconsistent. I'm going to do 4 sets with the 120s. Here I'm going to just keep trying to get as many as I can in. Pretty often I get to talking in the gym and the numbers start to elude me, so I a lot of times won't necessarily hit the same number on each side, but just once again try to feel it as much as I can. It gets hard doing alternating arms on a move like this because you get pretty tired when you switch. You're just doing essentially 20 reps on something that's pretty hard. It can get easy to get wore out. So pretty often, based on whichever week I am, I like to start off with a different arm. So one week I'll start off with my right arm, and one week I'll start off with my left arm, so I make sure that I don't overwork one and underwork the other. So that way I stay consistent with it. And then make sure I stay consistent within each set. So I'll always start with the right and always start with the left, and the next week always start with the left and always start with the right. This is the last set here with my rows. I'm going to move on to a seated row with the cables. I'm going to use the V-bar grip, or whatever you call it, to try to keep it in close. Start off here with 200 pounds, I think, and then I'm going to move up to 260 here on this next set. Really like to make sure I try to punch myself in the ribs with the bar, essentially, and just do whatever it takes to get to that ribs. A lot of times I'll end up exploding the weight up here. This set I'm going to jump up to the whole stack, use the 300 pound. I don't get as many reps as I'd like, and it felt pretty heavy, so I dropped the weight back down on the next set. Felt like I was using too much lower back and exploding it too much, so I dropped down to 280 here on this next set, and I feel like my form was a little better, so I could keep activating my lats a little better with this set. I'm going to do 4 working sets here and a warm up, so 5 sets on this. And then I'm going to call it a day on the V-bar rows, but I like these a lot. It's one of the few exercises that I really feel my lats activating. Sometimes I struggle with that. Next up is the cable lat pull downs. I like to make sure I almost really try to get it down under my pec when I use this. When I get it down under there, I feel like it really activates my lats a lot more than if I touch like the top of my pec. So really just aim for the nipples and go, man, until the weight gets too heavy, and then I just basically rep it out. Started off there, I think, with 120 just to warm up, and then jumped up to maybe 200 or 180, something around there. And then I'm gonna, I think, go up to 240. This set, I think, is 220 right here. And then that'll be as heavy as I get on there. Usually about once I hit body weight is about what I go to, because I feel like after that I start jerking the weight too much and trying to swing it down. I'm gonna do 3 sets of this, and then I'm gonna move on. I feel like my form was suffering pretty bad. Once I can't really get down to the nipple area anymore, I call it a day. So then I'm gonna move on to, some people call it 7s, some people call it 21s. I'm doing the bicep move. I started off here with the 35, and I feel like my first 2 sets of the 7s were pretty good, but then once I do the full extension, it really suffered. It got pretty heavy, but I went ahead and tried it again. I thought with some extra rest I would be able to do it again, but that was a bad idea. So I like to do 3 sets of these, and that really kills the bicep. My first set I used the outside grip on the easy bar, and then my second and third set I use the inside grip. I feel like it helps give you a good balance on the work of the bicep. So here's where I basically fail. This last set, I mean, I'm just doing everything I can to get reps in. So after this set, I drop down to the 25 and do that. I underestimated the power of the 21 guns. So yeah, even after that set, I'm still pretty shot. So this set's not that great, but man, it's great work for the bicep. It really blows them out. Terrible. So after a set of 21 guns, I'm moving on to a little less intensive move. But really, what I like to do is, this is a static curl, and I bring the weight in front of me with the intention that I'm going to turn my wrist outward, and that way it really activates the peak of the muscle. And so I try to do this once my biceps are pretty exhausted. I feel like this helps really to extend and build the peak, because that way it gets a little extra work on the top part of the bicep. So I struggle with building the peak, and I feel like this stuff really helps, especially after a intense, exhaustive move. But I grab the 30s, I think, and just stick with them for 3 sets and just do that 10 sets apiece with each arm. That's right. And honestly, after that, I felt like my back was blasted, or my biceps were blasted. So I'm going to move on to another back move. Do these overhead raises with the dumbbell. I grab an 80, and I'm going to do 3 sets of that to finish off the day. Usually I'll do this before I do a row, just to kind of get my back already working and exhausted. But today I felt like mixing it up and throwing it on at the end. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching this. This is finishing it up for a back and bicep day. If you like what you're seeing, guys, continue to interact with me. I like hearing from you guys. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. Back and biceps. Rows to grow. Making choices.